everyone. My name is Kate Rebholz, and I'm the Chargé d'Affaires at the U.S. Mission to ASEAN. Welcome to 10 years of U.S. ASEAN Fulbright scholarship opportunities for you. Yes. Well, and a huge thank you to all of you for coming out on a Sunday morning. I'm confident that you'll be pleased that you made the trip this morning. This year marks the 10th anniversary of Fulbright U.S. ASEAN Visitor Scholar Program. And as I'm sure you know, Fulbright is one of the world's premier scholar programs. Today, we will hear from past and future Fulbrighters about their experiences and research plans. But first, to kick things off, I would like to invite to the podium United States Assistant Secretary of State for Education, Educational and Cultural Affairs, Lee Satterfield, who is visiting us today from Washington, D.C. Welcome so much. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. How are you? Good morning. Thank you. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to actually show up in person today. I know it's been difficult during the pandemic for us to all be together, and I feel like we're at a time now with vaccines and careful health considerations and being consciously aware of one another that we're now able to be together like this again. So thank you for being here. And I am just honored to welcome the newest members, all of you, of the State Department's Fulbright program. Yeah. We have a rich history of distinguished academics and researchers in Indonesia and worldwide. In fact, it is one of the most distinguished scholar programs that the United States administers, and I'm sure that you know that. So you are joining an elite group of people who will really become a community to solve the world's global challenges. And I hope that you don't think that I'm exaggerating when I say that and put that kind of pressure on you, but it is true. And as President Biden and Secretary Blinken have often said, the relationships between people in programs like these are where solutions to the world's problems can actually come together and be seen and make a difference in the world. So the fact that you're joining such a distinguished group. Who has been to the United States already? So not that many. I love that. Everyone knows where you're going, correct? Is there anyone going to South Carolina? Anyone going to South Carolina? That's my home state. I like to ask that question because every now and then I'll come across someone who's going to South Carolina, and I like to describe it since there's so many of you who have not been yet to the United States. The United States is a melting pot of people from all over the world, and that's the richness of our country, the diversity of our country. And whether you're visiting South Carolina and experiencing the rich culture that there is to enjoy in South Carolina, or you're in New York, where my husband's from, you might think we're from two different countries. But in fact, we're only a few states away from one another. But I think that's the beauty of the United States, the fact that there are so many rich, diverse people, cultures, states, and communities that come together. And I hope that when you're there, you'll get to experience that richness and you will immerse yourself in that community that will embrace you during your time. As President Blinken says, our nations are linked by deeply rooted shared values that unlock incredible opportunity. But the principal driver of that relationship is a connection between our people. Now we have an opportunity to make our people-to-people connections even stronger. We are open for business in the United States, and we welcome ASEAN students and scholars of all ages to study in the United States. While our first Fulbright programs in ASEAN countries go back to 1948, it was just 10 years ago that the United States partnered with ASEAN to launch the Fulbright Visiting Scholars Program. Through this initiative, we can jointly strengthen our people-to-people engagement through educational opportunities on key issues such as accessibility and equitable economy, climate change, and food security. Over the past decade, U.S. universities have hosted more than 90 scholars from all 10 ASEAN member states. That's wonderful. Building on these successes, the State Department will double the number of participants from 10 to 20 research scholars, beginning with the 2023 cohort. And the President made that commitment during the last ASEAN meeting that took place just a few months ago. And I think it is a great example of how important the United States feels our relationship is with ASEAN countries. People-to-people engagement is an important strategic component of that relationship, and we have experienced wide success. For example, the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative has been incredibly successful in connecting young leaders across the region with each other and with people in the United States. In the last 2 years, the Billions Futures Initiative has increased the number of Fulbright Masters and undergrad awards for students from ASEAN nations. As Secretary Blinken has said recently, members of the Fulbright community are change makers who care deeply about the problems facing our world. Through Fulbright, they help strengthen our world from classrooms, villages, universities, and cities all across the globe. Your areas of research cover a wide range of important subject matters to the ASEAN region and are equally diverse: public health, ASEAN integration, educational reform, environmental science, food technology, climate change, and so much more. This cohort, like the ones that have come before it, will help build ties between our countries on a range of key issues. I am so pleased to see Dr. Situ Paetian, a 2016 alumni from Myanmar, with us today. Dr. Situ undertook his Fulbright study at Hawaii's Center for Excellence in Disaster Management and Humanitarian Assistance. Now, he serves as ASEAN's Assistant Director of Disaster Management and Humanitarian Assistance. Quite impressive. As such, Dr. Situ, yes, please, plays an important role. I think he's on video. Is that right? As such, he plays an important role in the ASEAN Secretariat's continuing development of strategies to implement disaster management and emergency response. Thank you, someone who started clapping for him, because that's a very, very important role. So we have so many other people to hear from, and it'll be useful for you to hear about the direct experience that others have had. I'd just like to close by saying congratulations. The Fulbright program has a long and rich history with the ASEAN countries and around the world, and now you are part of that Fulbright community. We cannot wait to see what you achieve. Thank you for letting me speak to you this morning.
Thank you, Assistant Secretary Satterfield. I was struck by your call to this new Fulbright group. and the challenge to change the world. And I am confident, having met so many young scholars in ASEAN, that this group is ready for that challenge and will more than meet it. And so I congratulate you on getting to this point. Next, we have pre-recorded remarks from Rodora T. Babaran, Director of Human Development at the ASEAN Sociocultural Community Department of the ASEAN Secretariat, who unfortunately could not be here with us in person today. And so now I'll turn to the remarks by Dr. Babaran.
Ms. Lee Satterfield, Assistant Secretary of State for Educational and Cultural Affairs, U.S. State Department. Ms. Kate Rebels, Chargé d'Affaires, U.S. Mission to ASEAN. Distinguished guests and Fulbright Fellows, a very good morning. Allow me to share brief remarks on behalf of Deputy Secretary General for ASEAN Sociocultural Community, His Excellency Ekafab Fantabong, who is unable to join us in this event due to prior commitment. He nonetheless wishes me to convey his congratulations and best wishes to the Fulbright Fellows as you start your journey with the U.S. ASEAN Fulbright Visiting Scholars Initiative. Founded in 1946, the Fulbright program is one of the most widely recognized and important scholarships in the world. It has also been instrumental in improving intercultural relations, cultural diplomacy, and intercultural competence between the people of the United States and other countries, including ASEAN member states. Since 2012, the Fulbright U.S. ASEAN Visiting Scholar Initiative has continued to deepen people-to-people engagement, strengthen educational ties, and contribute to research in various themes relevant to the United States, the ASEAN region, and ASEAN member states. The year 2022 not only marks 45 years of partnership and friendship between ASEAN and the United States, but also sees the launch of a new era in ASEAN-US relations to further enhance ASEAN-US cooperation. As Fulbright scholars from the United States and ASEAN member states, you have the opportunity to undertake research in your respective topics, but also to serve as ambassadors of goodwill between ASEAN member states and the United States, contributing to the enhanced ASEAN-US relations and partnership, while contributing to knowledge production, dissemination, and application in your respective fields of research. Partnerships, including ASEAN-US partnerships, facilitate and empower people in addressing the key challenges in our respective countries, regions, and the world, including sustainable development, inclusive and equitable education, food security, gender inequality, peace and security, and digital and financial inclusion, which are some of your research topics. I encourage all of you to take advantage of the Fulbright experience, build your network, exchange ideas, and collaborate with your peers, colleagues, and mentors from the United States and ASEAN in your respective researches. Given the importance of human resource development in ASEAN and the rest of the world, we look forward to your contributions to your respective communities, countries, and the region during and after your fellowship. Congratulations once again, and I wish you a productive pre-departure orientation. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Babaran. And I know we've had a lot of introductory remarks, and so I want to, without delay, bring to what you've really come here for, a connection and launch on Fulbright to help build that initial community and really give you the tools that you need to succeed, not just in your Fulbright scholar term, but in the future. And so with that, I'd like to say it's time to dive right into Fulbright, and I'll turn this over to today's MC, Dian Hapsari from the U.S. Mission to ASEAN, who's going to be your guide today. Dian, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, CDA Rebels. Hello, everyone. Hi, good morning. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Welcome everyone to the 10-year celebration of the Fulbright U.S. ASEAN Visiting Scholars Program. Thank you so much everyone for coming today. And first of all, welcome Assistant Secretary. It is our pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. And it is my pleasure to be the host on today's event. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And I would like to say hi to our audience here. And also, we have our online friends joining us through our Facebook page. Hi, everyone. Hello. So we have our friends from Brunei who are tuning in from the U.S. Embassy Bandar Sri Begawan Facebook page. Hello. And also our friends from the Waisili Facebook page, and also our friends from across Southeast Asia. Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And also our friends here at America Pacific Place, Jakarta. Halo semuanya, selamat datang. Terima kasih sudah bergabung pagi ini bersama kami semua di sini. So thank you so much everyone for coming. And also, of course, hello and congratulations to our 2022 Fulbright U.S. ASEAN Visiting Scholars. we have our all scholars joining from Zoom, and we will hear short introductions from all of them later today. So congratulations once again, and we are very excited to take you on to your exchange journey. And also, last but not least, I would like to welcome our distinguished guests, the Fulbright U.S. ASEAN Scholars alumni. Thank you so much, alumni, for joining us today. We have our alumni from Zoom, and also we have Pak Shofwan here. Welcome,
Morning.
Pak Shofwan. Pak Shofwan is also one of our alumni from Indonesia. Thank you for your time, Pak. And also, we have other alumni, Naj Kifli from Brunei. She's joining all the way from Honolulu, Hawaii. And also Dr. Gerald Kost from the United States. So we will hear from them. They will share about their exchange experience, their exchange journey to all of us here. Thank you so much. And also welcome to Mr. Adam Meyer from the Educational and Cultural Affairs Bureau, who also joining us through Zoom today. So thank you, and I'm really excited for our event today. So I hope you all also excited and enjoy the event. Okay, so before we go to the event, I would like to ask you and invite you all to join our mini quiz today. So to a little warming up our event today and a little bit energizer to our event, we have prepared a Mentimeter quiz. So please come and join us to our Mentimeter quiz. You can scan the barcode here or go to thementi.com and input the code 2033997. Yes, please scan the barcode. And also our friends, online friends, you can also scan the barcode here and join us to this mini games. Let's see. Do we have our friends joining the Menti? Okay, let's see. Yeah. Can we go to the quiz? Let's see what we have on our Mentimeter. Yes. Can we play the quiz? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so the question is, what is your favorite subject or field study? Yes, you can just type in your answer there and let's see. Let's see what is everyone's favorite subject. I want to know. Oh, business, trade, international relations, biology. Okay, I love biology too. Okay, let's see. How about you, Assistant Secretary? What is your favorite subject when you were in school?
See, my favorite subject was history.
Oh, wow. Okay, history. Interesting. Okay. Okay.
What about you? What was your favorite subject?
Well, I was a science student when I was in high school, so maybe
impressive.
I would say biology, maybe.
Okay.
But
Let's see who wins.
Yeah, let's see. So the biggest fun is, I think, business and international relations.
Ah,
Okay, so
sense.
yeah, so related. So yes, for those of you who has the favorite subject of the international relations, maybe this is very relevant to your study So I hope you can also learn something through our event today. Okay, thank you everyone for sharing. Thank you, Assistant Secretary. Hope you have some fun. Okay, great. Okay. And then, thank you everyone. And now, without further ado, I would like to invite our scholars. We want to hear from them all. And let's hear from them that they will say that they will share about their presentation, their research on their research plan on the US and then ASEAN. Hi, scholars. Hello. Okay, we are all seeing you on the Zoom screen today. Okay, let's begin with our first caller. We have Dr. Siti Diana Othman from Brunei. Hi, Dr. Siti, how are you? Okay. Okay, so Dr. Siti, you may take the floor.
Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Diana Osman. I'm from Brunei Darussalam. I am a research officer from the Sultan Haji Hassanal Bolkiah Institute of Defense and Strategic Studies, SHIBITS. It's the think tank under the ambit of Ministry of Defense. My research title is Decoding U.S. Indo-Pacific Strategy, Brunei Darussalam Perspectives. In this regard, my research seeks out to break down and analyze the U.S. Indo-Pacific strategy and study the implications it will bring or has brought out in the Southeast Asian region, particularly focusing on the ASEAN's defense and security aspects. Furthermore, the research will focus on the analysis of Brunei Darussalam's policy and implications from this strategy. So in the US, I hope to do my research in the Stanford University, particularly the Center for International Security and Cooperation, Friedman Spogli Institute. I feel this center is more aligned with my research focus, which is on the international security and cooperation. Okay, the things that I look forward is, of course, I look forward to meet other academics with the different backgrounds and perspectives, as well as share my thoughts and knowledge with them. I really believe that the US is a center for knowledge, research, and studies. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you, Dr. Othman, for sharing. Thank you. Let's go to our next caller. We have Dr. Tan Rizmi from Cambodia. Please, Dr. Rizmi, the floor is yours.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Tan Rizmi from Cambodia. Currently, I'm a Deputy Director of Research and Innovation Center at Institute of Technology of Cambodia. Yes, it's my great honor to be selected to participate in this program. And my research topic is about valorization of soybean residue, or we call okra, into high value added products. And can we move to the next slide, please? Yes, next. The university that I'm going to is the University of Florida in Florida of the United States. Yes, can you move to next slide? And yes, next slide, please. My expectations are the following. First is to know current R&D in the United States that is related to my field, and also to have networking with everyone, and also to have a joint paper publication in the scientific conference, and also to transfer the technology to local small and medium enterprise in Cambodia, and also to have a new research collaboration with my host university in the United States. Yes, thank you very much. That's all for me.
Thank you, Dr. Rizmi, for sharing. And then for the next caller, we have our United States scholars, Dr. Melissa Linchiski. Please take it away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome from Northern Illinois University. It's located outside of Chicago. There's my slide. Thank you very much. So I will be looking at the impact of urbanization on groundwater quality and resources. I'm very interested in emerging contamination and water quality. I believe that water is the future and we really need to be working on water. I'll be going to Cambodia and to Thailand, and so I'm hoping to meet many of you there. And one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is really field sampling, getting into the communities, getting water, and really meeting people all over the world. I'm very excited about that and developing strong networks through the ASEAN countries. So I hope I get to meet many of you there.
Melissa, where are you from in the U.S.?
I'm outside of Chicago, so I'm in Illinois, and it's a smaller university, an hour drive from downtown Chicago, so Illinois.
Awesome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, let's hear from our next caller from Indonesia, Dr. Michelle Limenta.
Selamat pagi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle Limenta, and I'm an associate professor at University Harapan. I'm Indonesian. Is my slides on? Okay. So, yes, next, please. Okay, I'm very humble and grateful to be selected in the Fulbright as U.S. ASEAN Visiting Scholar Program, which gave me the opportunity to conduct my research in the United States next year. My research title is Paving the Way Toward Inclusion, Trade, and Sustainable Development chapter in the ASEAN Future Free Trade Agreements. It's a long title. The state I'm planning to do my research is either Washington, D.C., because large trade policy network is there, or California because of its fantastic weather. What I'm most looking forward to in this Fulbright program is, of course, academic and intellectual development, but also cultural experiences, including tasting delicious local cuisine. So, In-N-Out Burger, I'm coming. I'm just joking. Thank you.
Baik, terima kasih Ibu Michelle. So for our next caller, let's hear from our scholar from Laos, Mr. Sayapeth Chapichit. Sabaidi, Mr. Please take it away.
Sabaidi. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Sayapeth Chapichit. I will do the research on institutional autonomy of higher education from the historical perspective of the National University of Laos. In Laos, we have 5 universities. One university is public health under Ministry of Health, and 4 universities is under Ministry of Education and Sport. We have 4 universities, and National University of Laos is the first university that established in 1996. Is still young for the university. For the purpose of my research, I will focus on the current characteristics of institutional autonomy in higher education in Laos PDR, and to see what extent the degree of institutional autonomy of higher education in Laos, and also see the constraints that affect the implementations of the innovative higher education of the National University of Laos that differ to the whole higher education of the Laos PDR, and also differ to the region. That is my purpose for my research aim in USA. My tentative university, I supposed to be doing my research in New York University. However, there might be change because according to my communication with the university, because we missed some communication in the previous months. So there might be change some university. There might be change in university, or there might be delay, something like this. There will be some discussion regarding the university that I will take. And in USA, what I expect to explore, that means I want to study and exchange the idea, more understanding between United States and ASEAN through the innovative exchange of higher education, how it supports the transformation educations in the regions and in our PR, especially in the digital age. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chabichit Kopchai. Kopchai Lailai. Okay, and then
Thank you.
Our next caller, we have Dr. Wahida Hashim from Malaysia. Please. Yeah, you may begin your presentation.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, you are okay.
Okay. So good morning from Kuala Lumpur. My name is Wahida Hashim and I am a lecturer from National Energy University. It's a private university in Malaysia. And I will be going to my host university is the Houston Victoria University. And I would like to thank Fulbright for this opportunity because I've been aiming to apply to be a Fulbright scholar since 2017. Then only now I have the opportunity. So I'm so grateful for that. Yes. And what is the research that I'm going to continue in the US is basically, I couldn't read myself on this one. Okay, it's basically on the enhanced framework for community resilient communication network for reliable internet connectivity. So I am fully a technical person in telecommunication engineering. And I basically, over the years, I have the interest to provide, to basically assess internet quality in rural areas. So I've been doing some of the work in the island, in the Malaysia, and so many problems that I found, which at the end, I created a framework to make it something doable to be implemented in Malaysia. So community resilience means that you try to empower the community to basically create your own network. So the what am I looking forward in the US is basically I want to learn and implementable ideas. We can learn a lot of ideas, but I want to learn something that is implementable. So as you can see down in my slide, there are a lot of pictures that we have been doing our survey since 2019. And we stopped in 2020 because of the pandemic. This is not my first time going to the United States, but this is my first time that I'm going to the states of Texas. So I'm so looking forward to basically complete at least 25 states throughout my life in the US.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wahida Hashim. That's very nice. And also up next, we have our American scholar, Dr. Brian Sister from the United States. Take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Selamat pagi to everyone in Indonesia, and also warm aloha to our alumni who have spent time in Hawaii. It's nice to see those people here. I'm a professor at the University of Hawaii in the Department of Geography and Environment, and I'm going to be studying social capital in small-scale shrimp farming communities in ASEAN. Next slide, please. So most shrimp raised in ASEAN countries such as Vietnam, Indonesia, and Thailand are produced by small farmers and exported to global markets as opposed to local markets. But the COVID-19 pandemic and associated supply chain problems have heavily impacted a number of these small aquaculturalists. And in response, they're starting to consider localization efforts such as community-supported fisheries. There's many benefits to these localization efforts, such as more sustainability, safety, certainty over product origin, social responsibility. But in order for these localization efforts to be successful, they do require social capital. And by that, I mean connections both within the community in terms of goals and connections outside of the communities. So I'm looking forward to working with ASEAN shrimp farming communities in Indonesia, Bali specifically, in Eastern Thailand, and in the Mekong Delta to explore these localization efforts and community-supported fisheries. Next slide, please. And finally, just like to say thank you to my partners at Kasetsart University and Baroka University in Thailand, the Center for Fisheries Research at the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries in Jakarta, and Kanto University. Thank you very much, everyone. Glad to be here today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suster. Okay, thank you, scholars. Before we continue to our next scholars, our team actually has prepared another games for all of us. So let's, yeah, our team likes games so much as well. Yeah. So let's participate in our next games. Yes, let's join our next Mentimeter quiz. You can scan the barcode over here. Our online friends, please also join and scan our barcode here. Or you can go to the menti.com and input the number 2931477. Okay, so this will be exciting, Assistant Secretary, because after this, we will have a quiz of our famous Fulbrighters. Okay, so let's see, how well do you know about our famous Fulbrighters? Let's see. This is a trivia quiz about our Fulbrighters. How well do you know? Okay, let's see. Okay, we have participants here joining in our Menti. Okay, let's start. Let's see. Let's go to the question number 1. Okay. So, the Fulbright alum, Dam Big Thuy, went on to become the first Vietnamese citizen to lead an international bank in Vietnam. And the question, at which U.S. institution did she study? Okay, A, University of Pennsylvania, B, Stanford University, or C, Northwest University? Can you guess? Yeah, you can Google it if you want.
I think it's Pennsylvania.
What do you think?
Guessing University of Pennsylvania.
Okay, let's see. Okay, you're right.
Nailed it. Because
Yes,
they have a
you're
business
right.
school, and when she went on to be a banker, I thought maybe she went to Wharton.
Okay. Let's see if you can answer the next questions. Okay.
The pressure. It's fun though, right?
Right. Okay, let's see. Number 2. Okay, question number 2. Okay, let's see. Which famous Fulbright alum from Indonesia is a part of the millennial team that advises President Jokowi on social issues in the country? Yeah, come on, Indonesian folks. You should know her. Do you know her? Okay. A, Ayu Kartika Sari, B, Ayu Kartika Dewi, or C, Angki Yudhisthia?
At the end, you have to guess this one.
I know the answer.
Oh, you do? Do you know
I
the answer?
Okay, let's see. Yes, the answer is Ayu Kartika Dewi. So,
You do? A friend?
So she is the President Jokowi's special staff for social affairs, and she received a Fulbright scholarship to continue her study at Duke University in the United States.
Yay, Duke.
Yes.
In the South.
Yeah, okay. All right, okay, next question. Question number 3. Okay, this is, she's very popular. Yes, and she is. What is the profession of Fulbright alum Maria Ressa, winner of the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize? I bet you all know the answer. Okay, A, artist, B, physician, or C, journalist? Yes. And Maria Ressa is one of our Fulbright alumni. Yes.
Where is she from?
She's from the Philippines.
The Philippines. She's a journalist, right?
Yes.
Is she?
You revealed the answer.
I can't help
Nice,
myself.
yes.
I'm very competitive.
That's the correct answer. Assistant Secretary shared the correct
I'm
answer.
so sorry
yes.
for anyone who hadn't answered yet.
No, she is the journalist. Yes, you're correct. Okay, so Maria was a Fulbright U.S. student to the Philippines in 1986, and she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her courageous fight for freedom of expression.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And then next question. This is the last question of our trivia quiz today. So, the question is, okay, Fulbright alum from Harvard University in 1999 and author Andreas Harsono from Indonesia is best known for his activism in which area? A, public health, B, human rights, or C, economics? Do you know the answer? What's your guess? Do you know the answer, Pastor Juan? Of course. What is your guess?
I'm going to guess I don't want to go before everybody's done. Human rights?
Okay, let's see.
Nailed it.
Yes, and human rights. Oh my gosh, it's the secretary.
Am I the winner? That's not fair,
You're so
is it?
good
I
at
should
this.
know the answers.
Yes, Andreas Harsono has covered Indonesia for the New York-based Human Rights Watch since 2008. Okay, thank you all for participating. Thank you, Assistant Secretary. You are so good at this. Thank you. And so actually from this trivia, we want to show you that we have so many bright and outstanding Fulbright alumni. So maybe you only saw 4 in these games, but actually we have so many others who are, make outstanding and significant impacts to their communities through what they're doing. So yeah, we keep hoping that the United States can keep giving the best support for our people in the U.S. and ASEAN to develop their critical skills to contribute to the society and to achieve more in their fields. Okay, so let's go again, continue to our scholars' introductions. And now we have our scholar from the Philippines. Please, I would invite Mr. Dr. Carmona to share. Please take it away.
Thank you. Is my screen, my PowerPoint? Okay, thank you. So good morning from the Philippines. My name is George. I am a lawyer, a law professor at the Philippine Judicial Academy and various law schools. And I am an international development consultant, providing capacity development assistance and legal advice on rule of law, human rights, and justice reform to government agencies in more than 15 countries in Asia, Africa, and Oceania. Next slide, please. My work, next slide, please. And my work and the problem of terrorism in the ASEAN informed my research, which is the rule of law and criminal justice responses to preventing and countering violent extremism in Southeast Asia. The pictures you see, the first one is the aftermath of the Marawi siege in the Philippines, and the second one is the aftermath of the Bali bombing. So we have a big problem of terrorism in the ASEAN region. Next slide, please. My host institution in the National Consortium Terrorism of the University of Maryland. The University of Maryland hosts the largest open source database on terrorism. Next, please. Like all of you, I hope to engage and interact with other experts on the field, hear different perspectives. After my research, forward to continue my engagement with justice sector institutions in different countries, the academia, and the development partners for enhancing the rule of law approaches. Finally, I'm excited to become a full-time student again, although for 4 months, and as a researcher. So thank you, Fulbright. Thank you, ASEAN.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Carmona. Maraming salamat po. And then let's go to our next caller. Yes, a little bit Tagalog. Let's go to our next caller. We have Dr. Shefali Shori from Singapore.
Hi, very good morning and selamat pagi. Greetings from warmest Singapore. And yeah, thank you. These are my slides. Before I start, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks for giving me this opportunity to be part of this esteemed luminaries who are representing different fields globally, and we are coming together here to share our topics. I will be conducting a research on job satisfaction and perceptions of female academics. A little bit about myself before I start and talk about this particular study which I'll be conducting. I'm an associate professor from School of Nursing and National University of Singapore. And despite of immense efforts around diversity, inclusivity, and equity, female academics, especially from the STEM disciplines, they remain underrepresented. And that's the reason I would like to understand and conduct in-depth multidisciplinary approach, as well as using both qualitative and quantitative research methodologies to examine what are the reasons behind of for female academics to be underrepresented. So next slide, please. I'm very excited to visit Yale University, especially I will be going to Yale School of Nursing. Next slide, please. And I'm looking forward to meet and network with like-minded academics, and most importantly, to conduct my research and establish long-term collaborations. I'm looking forward to share and exchange ideas, especially my Southeast Asian culture and the values around female academics, and most importantly, to learn from Yale School of Nursing, because they are the global leads, one of the top ranking nursing school in the world, to understand about the programs they offer at undergraduate and graduate courses, because I'm a program director of graduate courses at School of Nursing, National University of Singapore. Once again, thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to this exciting journey ahead, and most importantly, for becoming the part of this global Fulbright scholars community. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sherry, for sharing. Okay, let's go to our next caller, or Dr. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly. Dr. Medin Isaac Lam from the United States. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, so to introduce myself, my name is Medin Isaac Lam, and I'm an associate professor of chemistry at Purdue University in Northwest Indiana. Next slide, please. So the title of my research for this Fulbright Award is Photodynamic Therapy as Cancer Treatment to Improve Public Health. So this is linked to my patented therapeutics that I developed. Oh, sorry. Go back, please. So I'm going to be going to Singapore at the National University of Singapore, and I'm going to be studying the application of nanoparticles for PDT, which is photodynamic therapy for imaging detection of cancer, and for photo inactivation of viruses and implantable wireless LED devices and hydrogel fibers for cancer treatment. Next slide, please. And my next institution to visit is in Vietnam, which is Tan Thao University. And I'm going to be, again, studying nanoparticles and contrast agents for MRI, which is magnetic resonance imaging, and gene expression and biomarkers for breast cancer and clinical diagnosis. And then the next slide, please. The third university that I'm going to be going to is the University of Santo Tomas in the Philippines. And again, these are the research area related to my research interest would be medicinal chemistry, natural products, and computer-assisted drug design and drug development. So I chose these universities or these institutions because they have medical schools. And so I'm going to be linking or making collaborations with professors at these three institutions. And I would like to thank Fulbright for giving me this award. I'm deeply honored, and also for organizing this event, the ASEAN event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Isaac Lam, for sharing. Okay, up next, Sawadika to our Thai scholar, Mr. Pawi Janweranon from Thailand. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Greeting from Bangkok, Thailand. It's my pleasure to be here today and nice to meet you all today. This is Pawi Janweranon from Thailand. I'm working as a full-time lecturer in law at the Faculty of Law, Thammasat University. my university located our main campuses located in Bangkok, Thailand, and the nearby province as well. We also have the campuses in Pattaya province and Lampang province, the northern part of Thailand. I'm also a research affiliate working for the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance at Judge Business School, University of Cambridge. So next slide, please. So this is just to show you, to give you a glimpse of on my research interest and also the topic that I'm going to do a research during my time in the US. I have been working on a number of projects or research projects concerning fintech, financial technology, and digital related laws and regulations in the past many years, which is why I am interested in doing a research on regulatory sandboxes and digital financial inclusion in developing countries in Southeast Asia in the US during the program at the University of Illinois College of Law. Again, nice to meet you all today, and this should be great for any potential collaborations in the years to come.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Pawi Kapkunka. And also our next caller is Dr. Trang Hoang from Vietnam. Over to you.
Thank you for your introduction. Good morning from Vietnam. Can you share my slide? Okay, thank you. So move to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. My name's Blue. Go back, please. Okay, thank you. My name's Trang. I'm currently working at the University of Economics Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. I hope next year my university will be the host university of the U.S. scholars. We always welcome all of you. Please move to the next slide. My research is focusing on the gender gaps in financial inclusion in developing countries in ASEAN. Next slide, please. My host university in the U.S. is the Oklahoma State University in Stillwater City, OK State, in the South Central region in the U.S. Next slide, please. I look forward to many things during my fellowship because this is the first time I've been in the U.S. and I am most looking forward to having more networking with the professionals and scholars around the world, especially in the U.S. and ASEAN. Last but not least, I deeply appreciate the Fulbright U.S. ASEAN team for organizing this great pre-debate orientation. Thank you so much. That's all for me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Trang Hoang. Okay, so up next we have our scholar from the United States, Dr. Stephanie Santos.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Stephanie Santos. I'm a Filipino immigrant based in the US, and I study the flows of capital and labor between Southeast Asia and the global North. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. So my Fulbright research is on digital labors, and two examples of these you see on the upper left are Korean children learning English from a robot powered by Filipino teachers. And on the bottom right, we see elderly US clients who are monitored 24/7 by a pet avatar that's operated by caregivers in the Philippines. And next slide, please. So I study how digital workers navigate these new socialities in smart cities around the Philippines, Indonesia, and Thailand. And I'm most looking forward to doing field work in Asia again, to working with the Center for Science, Technology, and Society at Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok, and to being in fellowship with all of you. So, salamat, thank you, terima kasih.
Thank you so much, Dr. Santos. And finally, we go to our last caller. Last but not least, we have Dr. Nur Judi binti Abdullah. Please take it away. Yeah. Ms. Nur Judi, I think you are still on mute.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yes.
Good morning,
here you go.
everyone. Selamat pagi. All right. So I'm Noor Judy Binti Abdullah. I'm the founder and executive director of Project Women and Girls Development, also known as Project Women Brunei, based here in Brunei Darussalam. Next slide. So my research title will be on promoting the economic empowerment of indigenous women and girls, the Brunei Darussalam perspective. So I'll be conducting a comparative analysis of certain feminist economic policies in the US concerning indigenous women and girls and determining good practices that Brunei and ASEAN can use as a model to adopt. Next slide, please. So my host university will be Harvard University Asia Center at Cambridge, Massachusetts in the United States. And I look forward to meet in person some Native Americans and learn about their economic empowerment opportunities and collective challenges and share stories with them on the programs and initiatives that are made accessible to indigenous ethnic women and girls in ASEAN in general and Brunei Darussalam in particular. And I also look forward to connect with experts in the field of women and girls development and also create a strong network within the university and among the women Native American organizations for long-term knowledge exchange. Thank you very much for this Fulbright Business Scholar Award, and I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nur Judy Binti Abdullah. Terima kasih. So thank you so much for all of our scholars. Please give them a round of applause once again. Thank you so much for sharing, and we wish you all good luck on your exchange after this. Assistant Secretary, do you want to say some words to our scholars?
Sure, absolutely. First of all, I am so impressed with this group of scholars. The range of their projects, the diversity of their interests, the places that they'll be, their host universities in the United States. I loved seeing the wide range of schools that they'll be spending their time in the United States. And I loved hearing that so many hadn't been to the United States yet and that they're embarking on this beautiful journey. And I was also struck by even though I got into it a little too much, the games, I get competitive and start yelling out the answers. But I'm going to see all of these scholars on that board one day as prominent alumni of the Fulbright program. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Assistant Secretary. Yes, yeah, we will see you maybe one of the trivia quiz maybe someday on our another Fulbright pre-departure orientation. So thank you, scholars. We wish you all good luck, and please reach out to us. Us here from the U.S. Mission to ASEAN. You all have our support, full support, and good luck for your exchange journey. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. And now we will hear exchange stories from one of our alumni, Nach Kifli. She is Fulbright alumna and also YSEALI alumna. And this morning, her evening time, she's joining us all the way from the Honolulu, Hawaii in the United States. Hi, Nach. Aloha.
Aloha, everyone. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, you're good. Okay, so Nach will share about her exchange experience at Hawaii Pacific University. Okay, Nach, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, thank you very much, Fulbright and Ed America, for organizing this fantastic event. For today, I will be sharing a little bit of my experience under this Fulbright program. Next slide, please. So a little bit about myself, about my research and life in the US so far, and what I'm expecting beyond this US experience. Next slide, please. So my name is Norhata Najib Haji Kifli, but it's a bit on the long side. Everybody calls me Naj, and I am from Brunei, and I was a YCE Professional Fellows back in 2016. I did my internship in Seattle University, and I'm also one of the active participants for YCE regional programs since 2014 onwards. And back in 2014, I had the opportunity to be part of the English teaching apprenticeship in East-West Center with the lecturers from Hawaii Pacific University. So also the reason why I'm here now, because of that connection. And professionally, my background is in education officer as an academic program development, as well as providing solutions to admission digital transformation needs. And recently, I have just moved to research and statistics as well. Next slide, please. And so I am currently still in Honolulu, Hawaii. I started my program back in July 13, and inshallah, I will be finishing my program by November 16. Next slide, please. So about my research, the title is Current State of Big Data and Analytics Utilization in Higher Education among ASEAN countries. Next slide. And I am hosted by Professor Ghazwan Hasna, is a fantastic person who has done tremendous studies on big data and analytics in higher education settings, and which is a perfect go-to person for me. So I am hosted by Hawaii Pacific University College of Business, and the one on my right in the picture is the Dean of the College of Business, who is also a Fulbright alumni. So yeah, it's we are building a small Fulbright community within Hawaii Pacific University, which is pretty cool. Okay, so next slide, please. And the reason why I am doing my research is because there are still deep in-depth study on big data utilization among ASEAN countries, because especially among higher education settings, the way they are defining big data and the way they are utilizing big data is still, there are various ways that they are adopting it. And then, so that's why I am looking into understanding the current state of utilization of big data among higher education in ASEAN countries, and looking into proposing a framework to measure utilization level, as well as provide outlook on enabling factors of big data utilization. Next slide, please. So my focus is, of course, in ASEAN countries, and at the moment, the number of universities that fit the criteria is around 3,473 universities all over Southeast Asia, ASEAN countries. Next slide, please. So pre-departure, as what the scholars have already shared, I have done my proposal for the research as well, and then did my literature review. And I had my first meeting with my supervisor, and we had fruitful discussions and to develop the study further. And at the moment, we are into the data collections, and hopefully we'll be doing analysis soon. So hopefully beyond Fulbright, we will be able to collaborate further to have a further exploration of the study, especially with regards to big data utilizations and analytics in the education settings. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I would also like to share a little bit of life in Honolulu. Next slide. Prior to arriving to Hawaii, I had to settle the housing agenda and understanding housing requirements and all that. And then upon arrival, I have to obviously find my way around and organize my daily schedule so that it's much more efficient for me to be in the placement host office. Next slide, please. So accommodation for me, I stayed at the dorms at Manoa before this, and because of my previous connections, I was able to apply for dorms, but still pretty limited as because I can only stay for 2 weeks, and then I have to do home sharing, which finding rentals here is a bit of a challenge because they usually provide a 6 months lease or 12 months lease, and this program is only for 4 months. So there's issues with having the housing insurance deposits as well as having credit ratings, so to be eligible to rent. So fortunately, I found a good home to stay with a nice view as well. And then to get around in Hawaii is pretty much easy because there is the reliable bus line with the monthly holo card. It's around $80 per month, but you get unlimited rides. And then it's also walking city, and everywhere you go, it's just about 20 minutes walk. And then you with doing those walk, you won't even realize that you've been walking 20 minutes because there's just a lot of things to see left and right. And if that's too tiring, there's also always Uber, but then I feel like Uber here is a bit more on the expensive side in comparison to when I had my experience with Uber in the mainland. Yeah, next slide, please. And food is there's like plentiful of food options because the menu here are mixed of Asians as well. There's a lot of Filipino food, Vietnamese, Thai, and Japanese foods as well. And it's also infused in the Hawaiian menu. But then be mindful of the portions in the pictures. That's actually one portion that I divided into two. Right. There's also halal options available here, although if that's not easy to find, then there's also vegan options everywhere. And there's also a lot of leisure activities in Hawaii that we can do. There's land, water, and air activities, and a lot of hiking spots as well. Next slide, please. And also, I think one of the main thing that most of the scholars mentioned, it's all about networking and collaboration. So, so far, I've been so fortunate to meet a lot of colleagues and friends from various countries as well as of various experience and expertise. So that's pretty cool with this experience so far. So yeah, that's it from me. Mahalo, everybody. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Nach. Mahalo. Thank you so much. That's very exciting. That's very exciting of your presentation to Hawaii. So yeah, I hope Nach can also share useful tips for our scholars and also for our audience here. So it's not impossible if you want to go to Hawaii one day, right? We have a lot of opportunities. Yes.
I want to go to Hawaii. We want to go to Hawaii.
We have a lot of opportunities. Education, ECA Bureau, Educational and Cultural Affairs, has a lot of exchange programs to offer to you all. And also you can visit our booth outside. If you want to go, if you want to know more, we have YC, we have a Fulbright program. So there's a lot of opportunities and it's not impossible for you to go to Hawaii. Okay, thank you once again, Nach. Okay, so next one, we have our alumnus joining us here from this morning. Thank you, Pashofwan, for coming.
My pleasure.
So yes, Pashofwan will share with us, with all of us today about his exchange experience to American University in Washington, D.C. So yes.
floor
Thank
is
you very
yours.
much, Diane, and thank you very much, Assistant Secretary Satterfield, and to the committee for having me today. It is a great pleasure to be here, and it is also a very important event, I think, for welcoming the new batch of the Fulbright scholars, and I welcome and congratulate all of you. And hopefully the future Fulbright scholars is also here. So I congratulate you too. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sofwan Albana Khairuzad, but because it's too long, sometimes I shortened it into Sofwan A, B, C, D. You can see the A, B, C, and the little D there, the A, B, C, D. I'm teaching at the Department of International Relations, Faculty of Social and Political Sciences, Universitas Indonesia. And I went to the Fulbright U.S. ASEAN Visiting Scholar Program at the ASEAN Studies Initiative at the American University. At the Universitas Indonesia, I'm also in charge of the ASEAN Studies Center. So it's pretty much has a close focus with the ASEAN Studies Initiative. So hopefully the connection will be maintained even after the program. And we actually already have one collaboration program after the Fulbright Visiting Scholarship Program. So hopefully we can continue later. The picture there is the picture from the U.S. ASEAN Special Summit 2022. I believe that Assistant Secretary Satterfield was also there, probably. I was in Washington, D.C. for that time because my topic is very much also connected to the event. So it is very fortunate for me. I'm very lucky to be there studying on the U.S. ASEAN relationship during the U.S. ASEAN Special Summit. So I'm very thankful for the Fulbright for this opportunity. Can we move to the next slide? So I'm trying to put my reflection on that today. I think this is the important remark from President Biden's at the U.S. ASEAN Special Summit. He said that we are not only celebrating 45 years of partnership and friendship between ASEAN and the United States, we are launching a new era in the U.S. ASEAN relations. So I think, I believe this is part of that. Today's event is part of opening up of that new era of U.S. ASEAN relationship, because in the past there was a kind of increasing interest in the U.S. for stronger U.S. ASEAN relationship, but then sometimes that commitment was somehow declining to some extent, in which made many stakeholders in ASEAN ask questions, but then we believe that the interest is increasing again, and we are looking forward for stronger relationship in the future. Let's move. And this is a very interesting statement. Biden also mentioned that ASEAN centrality is at the very heart of my administration strategy in pursuing the future we all want to see. And I mean that sincerely. This is my topic. So my topic is on ASEAN centrality and how the US actually perceive ASEAN centrality. Can we move to the next one? So there are frequent iterations on the commitment of the US on ASEAN centrality, such as the statement on explicit statement on the US Indo-Pacific strategy, in various speech by public officials, and let's move. But then, can we move forward? Next slide, yes. But there are concerns from the region about this, which is summed by Acharya, Amitav Acharya, which is also at the American University. So I met him and made a lot of discussions with him, and also eating lunch together. Both powers, as well as other major powers in the region, recognize and formally respect the ASEAN centrality principle, even though in practice the US and China have not lived up to ASEAN's expectation concerning it. But of course, there are different aspects to it, in which I will find I find from my visit. Thank you. And then can we move? So next, so my research is to look at how the U.S. Actually perceive ASEAN centrality and how it affects the relationship between U.S. ASEAN. To do that, I do research and interviews, meeting with people in think tanks, CSIS, East West Center, Brookings, and many other think tanks. Also visiting State Department several times. And actually, what surprised me is that the security at the State Department is softer than the security here at the embassy.
I don't think so.
It
Doesn't feel like it.
It was surprising for me because when every time I came to the embassy, it's kind of getting ready for a war or something like that. But here in the State Department is far more accessible. And yeah. Anyway, I went also to the Library of Congress and still have my membership until next year. So hopefully I can use that again soon. I don't know. Maybe Fulbright hear me. No. I can, and then I meet some people in the academia also in some universities. I cannot put all of their pictures there, but yeah. So these are the pictures from my host at the American University. There are very super ultra kind and supportive hosts, which made my life in Washington D.C. and around very enjoyable. I went to several parties, and I am also joining classes, sharing my thoughts on several classes on ASEAN and on U.S.-China relationship. I also invited to the house of Ambassador Piper Campbell, who was chargé d'affaires for ASEAN in 2012, I guess, because she is now the head of the ASEAN Studies Initiative. Let's move to the next slide. Yeah, this is the American University. It's a very beautiful campus with beautiful gardens, a very green building. I think the building is green building certified. A lot of events there. I bring my kids there. And they love the statues. Here, my youngest son is pretending to be the panda, who is at the university. Let's move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so of course, I'm not only doing the research. Sometimes the research is the pretext for doing other things. But yeah, I visited several places in the United States. Washington, D.C. is, of course. I went there during the cherry blossom parade, so it's very beautiful. And I heard that this is the first time after the pandemic to be conducted again. So I'm very fortunate to be there. I went to New York, to Pennsylvania, to the Amish County, and several other places. It's very beautiful experience. Let's move. Daily life there is also beautiful. I stay at Silver Spring, not in Washington D.C. because Washington D.C. is expensive. So because I'm bringing my family, I have to plan my finance quite well. So I choose the suburb. It's in Silver Spring. It's more affordable and accessible. It's easy to go to Washington D.C. through the Red Line metro, and metro is very easy and convenient way of going to different places in D.C. and around. And there is and near my place to stay, there is a Sligo Creek, a very beautiful area where people are usually hike during autumn or spring. So yeah, it's very beautiful place. Let's move. And this is, I think, one of the most important aspects of living in the US. You can try different kinds of food. Of course, Jakarta offers a high variety of culinary adventure too, but there are some foods that we cannot find in Jakarta. I tasted for the first time in the US. Silver Spring is also, some part of Silver Spring is also known for the Little Addis Ababa. So a lot of African food there. And of course, crab cakes, the Maryland crab cakes, and other specialty from the US. So let's, I think that's all, but one more. Can we move to the next slide? So yeah, this is the after coming back to Indonesia. I try to maintain the connection, and we start to work on the MOU between my host university, American University, and my university, Universitas Indonesia. And we start with a small lecture program on U.S. ASEAN relations with Ambassador Piper as the speaker. And I hope I can invite Assistant Secretary Lee Satterfield too, to maybe to visit our university or to speak to our students. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Yeah, harus nembak begini kan. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm also trying to make a cooperation with other institutions such as the East-West Center. We are working on that too. So hopefully we can be part of the stronger connection between US and ASEAN in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sofwan. Thank you so much. I still remember Pa Sofwan last year in the Fulbright pre-departure orientation as a scholar. But now Pa Sofwan has got back from his exchange and can share all of us today with his exchange experience. So yeah, congratulations, Pa Sofwan. And also you make a good opportunity to meet Assistant Secretary, and you can invite her to your campus. That's a good shot. Okay. So thank you, Pa Sofwan, and most importantly, thank you for being alumni partner with the U.S. Mission to ASEAN.
My pleasure.
Okay, so finally, I would like to invite our third alumnus, Dr. Gerald Cost. So, hello, Dr. Cost, how are you?
Hello, I'm here.
Yes, Dr. Cost, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us today. And congratulations on your 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, well, thank you.
Congratulations. So Dr. Cost will share about his exchange experience from in the University of California, Davis. So, okay. Yes, let's hear from Dr. Cost.
Hello, this is Dr. Jerry Koss speaking. I'm at the University of California, Davis. I spent time at Cebu Technological University as a Fulbright Scholar Research Awardee in the Visayas Islands of the Philippines for 4 months. And that's this year. Last year it was 2 months in Cambodia. This presentation is just a series of little tips for those of you who will be doing research, and congratulations on your awards. The first tip is to think team. Now, the details on the slides are not important. In the background here, you see a paper that we're producing right now. It is the theme of the project I just completed. It is about point-of-care testing. You know all about that. You've been doing COVID point-of-care testing right and left. And spatial care paths, those are things we use to determine the fastest, most efficient way for the patient to get to care. And enhanced standards of care. I mean, the idea of this project was to bring the standards of care up for all of ASEAN, and to do so by preparing island communities for global warming and rising oceans, which at this point seems inevitable. Well, I've been so lucky in both Cambodia and in the Philippines to have recruited these superstars. One of them is a graduate student at CTU, Cebu Technological University, and he was absolutely pivotal to the success of the project. Now, to work in these countries takes a whole lot of hard work. You're working in a foreign culture, and to navigate your project successfully, you must lead, not follow. Here's the story of where we work. This is Batian Archipelago. Again, this is about global warming and designing point of care diagnostics, things that are at the point of need where the patients first realize they need something, like it could be a COVID test. They're at home, they're sick, they want to know if they have COVID. Well, we'll see a solution for that, which of course in Yolo County, where I live, Davis, California, we have vending machines where you can simply go over to the library and get all the tests you want free of charge. But the problem for these archipelagos and for island nations is tides and large typhoons are increasing floods. People must relocate, and they're basically going to be obligated to redesign healthcare. Now, again, about the team. I mean, the team is so essential. I was so lucky to have in this island, which is up in the top left, this shows you Cebu province, and it tells you in a minute or two without the details. And all these figures come from the paper, so they'll be available to you, open access at the journal Diagnostics. But to make a long story short, the archipelago is isolated. It's way up north. In the center, you see a star with a little green thing around it. Well, that's the 5 to 10 minute zone where people can actually get to care quickly. But if you're up in this isolated archipelago, it's not so easy. And I was lucky to have, again, building the team, the head of public health join us on that island. And you know what? Louis, my research assistant, was born and raised there. So the tip here to the left is get those local experts. They have your sources of data. Start networking before you depart to try to make these connections. And your sponsor, in my case, CTU, can help. And they were quite helpful. We went up on surveys. They provided resources for that, the van, the driver, and so on and so forth. Yes, there is a budget. Yes, there are expenses. And fundamentally, please define your goal, hypothesis, methods, likely outcomes, statistical methods, and anticipated results carefully. You see that on the right. And of course, in this case, so much of this was about the geography and what's going to happen as the ocean rises. So I focused quite a lot on finishing the tables and the figures for the research paper before I came home. And we did that, well, about 95%. Now, here are some of the solutions just to get you an idea of what we're recommending for this area with, again, the endorsement of the entire team. Vending machines to dispense all kinds of tests, COVID, HIV, pregnancy, mobile van solution you see on the bottom right there for COVID testing. And amazingly, they picked up a project for TB in this small Batian island. They have a portable nucleic acid instrument to do molecular detection of TB and also a portable miniature chest x-ray. Well, we have ambulances and sea ambulances, and I'll end my story there. Thank you for your attention. And we can talk about this a little bit later because it's so important that you form the right team and actually come up with solutions that you'll be happy with.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Cost, for sharing your tips to our scholars. And let's wrap up our presentation from our alumni. So thank you so much, our alumni, for making your time to share about your experience and to give your support for our scholars today, and also to share your experience to all of our audience here today and our online friends. Thank you so much for sharing your inspiring message, and I hope it can, encourage and motivate others to also pursue their dreams, to pursue their study to the U.S. or ASEAN. So thank you. Yes, Assistant Secretary, do you want to say your final words?
Sure. I would just like to make 2 quick points, if I could, in closing. And thank you for having me, and for everyone coming today and those who stuck with us virtually. One, to the scholars who are traveling out, these are amazing tips that you've just been given from alumni who've participated in programs. I think the most successful exchanges are those who embrace not only the scholar project that they're involved in, but the community in which they live. And I think that's what really came clear to me as I was listening to the presentations. Please embrace your surroundings. And for those of you who are traveling for the first time, or even those who are traveling to the United States for a second time, please stay in touch. We are a resource. And if you're away from home and it might be difficult or you're having any challenges at all in your community, please, please, please reach out to us, and we want to be of service to you and be helpful to you so that your program is a success. The second thing I'll say to those who are looking to be a part of a program like this, I think there are people in the audience who are maybe considering studying in the United States. Yes? Good. And those who are on virtually. And I would say, don't be, you're probably all super smart and amazingly qualified, but don't be intimidated by those who are going to the very top schools in the United States. There are thousands of wonderful universities, colleges, and community colleges in the United States. And I like to say there is a school for everyone in the United States if you want to study there. I went to a public school, University of South Carolina. I studied journalism, and I've worked for 3 presidents, including in the White House. And I think that it doesn't really matter what school that you go to as long as you embrace your experience. So if you're looking for an opportunity to study in the U.S. and you think something like Fulbright is out of your reach, there are many, many, many opportunities. And we're open for business, and we want you to come and study in the United States. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Assistant Secretary. What an inspiring message to all of us. So yes, we have a lot of opportunities to offer. Assistant Secretary has a lot to offer. So if you want to check out more about exchange program to the United States, you can check out exchanges.state.gov, and you can see available opportunities on your countries. Okay, so that's all. That wraps up our event today. So thank you so much for joining us here today. And good luck once again to our scholars. Good luck on your exchange studies. And after this, don't go anywhere. You can stay tuned to our next session on the breakout room. You can consult more. We have Naj and Dr. Cost, who can share more about their exchange experience. And if you want to ask more to Naj and Dr. Cost, please join our breakout session after this for our scholars. And for our audience here, you can also visit our booth outside. We have Wisely booths, Fulbright alumni who are there to share with you all. So if you want to seek for advice or more information on our programs, and also Education USA can also assist you with information on exchange to the US. And also our Facebook friends, our online friends, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for making your time on Sunday morning. We are very happy to have you all. And please keep following our social media at the U.S. Mission to ASEAN, because we will share exciting news soon about the call for applications for the 2023 Fulbright U.S. ASEAN Visiting Scholars Program. So thank you so much. Once again, Assistant Secretary, it is our pleasure to have you today. Pak Shofwan, thank you so much, Pak. And it is my pleasure. I'm Dian signing out from this event. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend.